you have a post office box there, is that where you receive your mail? Yes or no? All right, I would like to enter into evidence this. It is, this
Voter verification.
voter verification of Mr. Muir, which I'm gonna do as Board 3, and that is, where he verified his address at One Stop.
And that's where we haven't had
No.
no records. We
As-
haven't sent him a voter card in the mail. It came back undeliverable. He was made inactive. On the day that he voted One Stop, he confirmed that was his address by signing the sheet that you have.
Okay, that's what I put on here, that he did, they verified his address at One Stop. Okay, do I need to see that?
Can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
My only concern was, I know that usually we sign stuff, that always asks us to use all three of our names. Is that correct, or is it not how we sign?
You're supposed to sign your official signature.
How is on the voter record?
Okay.
All right, let me read you 16390.2A. When any challenge is sustained for any cause listed under GS 163-85, the board shall cancel or correct the voter registration of the voter. The board shall maintain such record for at least 6 months and during the pendency of any appeal. The challenged ballot shall be counted for any ballot items for which the challenged voter is eligible to vote as if it were a provisional official ballot under the provisions of GS 163-166. And since this says for any cause, and as chairman, the cause for this, in my opinion, the cause for this challenge to be sustained is because you did not give your correct address. I would like to make a motion that this challenge is sustained and that we correct the voter registration of Mr. Yule to the correct address.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Madam Chair, also, on the page before 159, it mentions if the challenge is sustained or overruled. There's some additional requirements there.
Where?
I think it boils down to the same. There's some technical information about what has to be marked on.
We have to mark challenge sustained. So what we're saying is, you are not voting at the correct address. We will correct your address to the Mount Vernon Township, which will allow everything that is on G7 to be counted from your ballot. Your official ballot will count, and your voter registration will be corrected in our
Right,
record.
fill out a voter registration form with his new address.
Mr. Gill.
I have a question. We haven't, I know we're not here to do that, but he hasn't proven to you in any way that he lives where he's just told you he lives. So would Mr. Ure be willing to show you his driver's license?
Madam Chairman, my problem with that is, we're not even allowed to, if a person is voting, to ask for a driver's license.
That's for somebody that's already proven they've already proven their residency, and all they have to do is come in and state their residence. I've just proven that the young man doesn't live where he says he lives. So now, how can we're gonna designate him an address? When you come in for the first time, you have to have something in your hand that says you live there. So I would be willing to go along if he would be willing to show you his driver's license and it says that he lives where he says he lives.
But it doesn't have to be a driver's license.
Okay,
It
well,
can be,
can he
there's
produce-
several different things to produce, right? Like a bill at that address.
Madam
Go-
Chairman.
Already a registered voter,
Right,
he does not have to provide any form of ID when he makes a change to his address. He simply has to put it on the voter registration form, and he signs that, and then there's an affidavit on that form saying that if it's not correct information, it is untrue.
But Madam Chairman, he's already affirmed it. He affirmed it on 11/1 that he lived at 1704 Weeksville Road. So I'm asking you how we're gonna assign him a new address when less than 15 days ago, he affirmed that he lived at 1704 Weeksville Road.
But he also said that he voted that he moved 2 months ago. To
But he
another
said on 11/1 he lives here. I know what he told you, but he said under oath that where he lives. So I'm saying, so we can't today assign him a new address. I'm willing, if he gives you a phone bill, a light bill, whatever right now, but I'm telling you, the board can't assign him an address based on him telling you, because he's already affirmed under oath where he lives. And you just sustained that he was not truthful.
That's true, we did sustain that.
Madam Chairman, I don't believe we have the power to, maybe we should turn this over to some cops, because
This is actually one of the questions I was anticipating. One of the questions was, what if the challenge is sustained? You say sustained, which we've done. You're supposed to ask the person, where are you living now? And then I actually went further, and what if they're not cooperative? And the answer was, if not cooperative, remove them from the voter rolls. So that was the advice we got. You asked the person.
Without any proof, you just asked the person.
That's as far as this was taken, you know. So I understand the concern, and
Right.
especially with Linda saying, once you're registered, you don't have to prove anything further.
And this is coming from the Institute of Government, the gentleman you talked to there, or from Don Wright?
It's state board.
State board. So, okay, to be clear, are you saying we can or cannot ask him for something that shows we?
I think Mr. Ure is okay by saying he lives at Queensfield. And that's, under oath, and if that's all I can say, it's under oath, and that's the question I asked him was responding to.
So you're saying that the board can't ask him, is that what you're saying? They
I think they
cannot
did
ask
ask
him
him
to see
earlier.
his driver's
They can ask again, they can ask Mr. Ure, where you living?
All right,
Yeah, I mean,
Mr. York, I'll ask you, under oath, you're still under oath, give me the address that you are living at currently, that you said you've lived in right now. 101? I can't read. Cardinal Court, Elizabeth City. Okay, and
Can I say something else too? When he registered to vote, he put his driver's license number on his registration and it validated. Once that's done, if he moves, any voter, when they move to a different address, they do not have to give any further identification on their record. It's in there, if they move, they just give their address and we update that. We send a voter's card to that address, and that's where we verify that they live where they say they live or not. If it comes back undeliverable, then we know that the address is not a good address.
okay, well then, we have sustained your challenge to Mr. York. I would ask that, is Irene still here? I would like you to fill out a voter registration card with the correct address. And Ms. Croxton will help you with that. Do we have any other questions for him? Okay, if you'll go in that office, she'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Hmm?
Did you have a
No,
question?
no, I'm just saying.
All right, the second person is Clarence Highsmith. All right, and Ms. stated that your registration, you know, your letter came back class mail undeliverable, correct?
Mr. Gilbert, are you going ahead? I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to give me a minute to highlight stuff.
Are you going straight to the end of your exhibits, the EE? Is that where you're starting?
Yes, I just
Thank you.
would
Okay.
ask the board to,
Wait, just straight here, so I know what the next one is there. Just wait for the list. Let me see my packet. Okay.
you ready?
Wait a minute, let me write down sustain, please.
I would just remind the board that exhibits A through G still.
You're incorporating those this time,
Incorporate
right?
those this time also. Okay, so if you go to Exhibit EE, it's Mr. Highsmith's, his voter registration. Exhibit FF is his absentee application. You want to show him?
Yes, can I also have a copy of this before I leave?
Sure.
Mr. Gilbert remains under oath from the
Yes,
prior.
yes.
Okay.
So EE, so you have EE, you have FF, and GG is a copy of his online resume.
As we're going back to the original things, let me hear first from Mr. Highsmith. Okay. Okay, for the record, Mr. Highsmith is not in the counting list. And,
Can I also have a copy of that also?
this? The housing is come from the registrar's office? I would like to, before you continue, continue. We have his voter view that shows that he was verified as a new voter in 2009, okay? It'll be Board 4. Yeah, we can make you a copy of the page that your name's on. It's in alphabetical order.
Madam Chairman, you say he is on the list?
He is not on
He
the
is
list.
not on the list, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You ready? All right, so Clarence Vaughn Highsmith, his registration date is 9/30/2009. His registration address was 1704 Weeksville Road. 21 years old. His canceled registration address was 154 Vans Gin Road, Murfreesboro, North Carolina, 27855. Mr. Highsmith is not on the residency list for ECSU provided to the Pasquotank County Board of Elections for the November 6th election. We are not disputing that Mr. Highsmith may be a student at ECSU, just his residency address. If you look at the resume that we've attached, it's GG. Mr. Highsmith gives his permanent address as 154 Vans Gin Road, Murfreesboro, North Carolina, 27855. The 4 rules for determining residency are the abandonment of the first domicile, have the intention not to return to the first domicile, acquire a new domicile by actual residence in that domicile, have the intention of making the new residence a permanent home. By his resume, Mr. Highsmith indicates that he did not abandon his first domicile as he is using this as his permanent address. Obviously, 1704 Weeksville Road is not a permanent home, as he is not on the current residency list. Please note the attached case law from Lloyd versus Babb, 1979, page 73, the North Carolina Election Law Book 210. Person has a domicile for voting places at a place if he has abandoned his prior home, has a present intent to make that place his home, and has no intent to presently leave that place. Applying that rule to the case of students, the student is entitled to register to vote at the place where he is now attending school if he can show that he has abandoned his prior home, has the present intention of making the place where he is attending school his home, and intends to remain in the college town at least as long as he is a student there and until he acquires a new domicile. Do you have any questions?
Madam Chair, I think Mr. Earl was going to be leading my guest.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had more business with me, if I was free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. All right, would you like to swear or affirm? All right. You swear that the statements and information you shall give in this hearing with respect to your identity and qualifications to be registered and to vote to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay. And the second one. You do solemnly swear that you are a citizen of the United States, that you're at least 18 years of age and will become 18 by the date of the next general election, that you have or will have resided in this state and in the precinct for which registered for 30 days by the date of the next primary or election, that you are not disqualified from voting by the Constitution or the laws of the state, that your name is Clarence Highsmith, and that in such name you were duly registered as a voter of 4B precinct, and that you were the person you represent yourself to be, so help you God. Okay, my first question. My first question for you is, you are not on the list. Where do you reside?
Excuse me, apparently I'm seeking counsel, so I was right now asking the questions, at least my lawyers, but.
Okay. All right. All right, you just took an oath that that was your current address, correct? Mhm. And what, so you're not planning on answering any questions?
Don't know, my lawyer's present.
Did you receive the letter that said that you could have somebody with you?
No comment.
This letter was delivered to him, correct? No, anyway, undeliverable.
Was that returned or was it
It
received?
was returned,
Returned, okay, thank you.
undeliverable.
Okay, thank you.
Registration.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question? That, it being returned is not evidence that he doesn't live there, but it does lend, I think the statute says it does lend weight to the fact that he doesn't live there.
Certain
Is that correct?
challenges, it creates a prima facie case, not under the particular challenge, but I think it's evidence.
That's
It
evidence.
would be waived by the board, correct? Mhm.
Um, Can you pull up his voter, history for me, please? That's probably better. You do. Mhm. In here? Okay, thank you.
I want to qualify one thing I said, Mr. Gilbert, I still stick by my answer. There's, some of these statutes don't read too well together. And GS 16385 clearly says prima facie evidence if returned.
Right.
You know, there's different flow charts, this and that, but certainly evidence.
Thank
But
you.
the prima facie, well, true. Thanks, sir.
Madam Chair, while you're looking at that, one thing I'd like to show, to tell you, so we're real clear on this, his resume, if you look, on the document I provided, you can see that it doesn't have it. You don't have it here. Here's the link, you have the link for his resume, and it's an ECSU link.
To his resume?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll probably need to have a copy of that. Thank you.
I'll also let me have a copy of that also.
All right, we'll count this as, what, number one? Ward 5. Thank you, Betsy. I gave you the rest of this back. I'm just taking this one, I think. Would y'all like to? Would y'all like to look at that, please? Ms. Jim?
Well, basically, what I'm thinking is this, how long do you think it would take you before you have some legal help?
I'll go right now, can I take it?
Mr. Okay, what I am seeing as evidence, you're not on the housing list. You have a permanent address on your resume that is not in this county. You will not tell us where you reside. Obviously, you knew you were coming here today, so if you want to bring counsel, you had a chance to do that, because you actually came today. Can you, Mr. Mike, can you give us a definition of affirmative vote?
Yes. Just one I got right now. Such evidence of the truth of the matters asserted as tends to establish them, regardless of character of evidence offered. Tends to establish, such evidence of the truth of the matter asserted tends to establish them.
Can you put that non-legalese?
Well,
If I can understand.
Yeah, it's not when you hear like beyond a reasonable doubt or anything.
Right.
Evidence that it tends to establish the truth, how about that? I'd say this is more civil in nature, usually in civil, you have preponderance of evidence, 51%, so somewhere along those lines.
Okay. I will invite my other board members to tell me anything they have heard, but the things that I have heard are is the challenge was undeliverable to the address of He's not on the housing list. He's given a permanent address on his resume that is not in this county, and he will not tell us where he resides.
May I ask a question?
Sure?
You don't want to ask any questions? Not even about your
You don't
school?
want to answer any questions.
Okay.
Madam Chair, could you point out also that, make a point on the record that his resume was retrieved from the school that he's attending website? Not from a LinkedIn, not from a Facebook, from an official college website where he lists his resume. And it had to, and I assume, and this is assumption because he won't answer, but I assume he posted that the college did not post that for him. Because information in a resume is very personal.
What was that number we were looking at, Mike, that you showed me the first time? That,
Pardon?
was it 149?
The, and is this a
About-
rule or?
It's the one about the, that are not sustaining it for any cost. That's the one that said.
Oh, yeah, that's page 160.
Thank you.
Right there in A, when any challenge is sustained for any cause listed under.
website you said this was sent from?
Yes, sir.
What website is that?
Elizabeth City State.
University.
Yes, sir. Mr. Skinner, you saw it, right? You saw the link, right?
Well, I was just asking because, that is Elizabeth City State, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can enter that as, did we,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You have,
you
we
did,
put it.
BD
I
five.
believe you already have.
we'll make sure I had it.
If you agree, Mr. Gill, for a motion to sustain, if you do not agree, there is enough evidence to be a motion to overrule.
I'll make the motion to sustain the challenge based on the evidence that was presented. Do I have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. You vote aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay, now let me tell you this. 163.90.2. A decision by a county board of elections on any challenge made under the provision of this article shall be appealable to Superior Court of the county in which the offices of that board are located within 10 days. Only those persons against whom a challenge is sustained or persons who have made a challenge which is overruled shall have standing to file such appeal. So, I guess your choices are you can appeal this to Superior Court within 10 days yourself. And he also,
Madam Chair, I will draw an order for each of these, and so the 10 days will start once that order is signed. It'll probably be even early next week before we get those done, most likely.
okay. And if you need a, copy of this law, we can make it for you.
Oh, yeah, I copy also. So let me understand this. So basically, I'll have 10 days to appeal this
The Superior Court.
to Superior Court, so I'll be in front of a judge. And my accuser will be there also, since he's accusing me of challenging to his registration.
If you subpoena it, yes.
No, you'll be,
You're going against, us, I guess. Right? Let me see, all right, let's see. No, when the challenge is sustained for any cause, the board shall cancel or correct the voter registration of the voter. The board shall maintain such record for at least 6 months during the pendency of any appeal. The challenge ballot, if it was.
I think it's safe to say at this point, there's 10 days from once that
Yeah,
order is
that's
signed
right
to
here.
appeal.
This is the law, the general statute.
So I have 10 days, and I'm going to get y'all to have it sustained or overturned.
Right now, what's gonna happen is the ballot will not count
Right.
for anything. This is a little different than the first. Once the order is drawn, signed by the chair, you'll be given a copy. And if you wanna pick it up here, if you wanna mail it, we can do either way. And it's appealed to the Superior Court from there. You'll have 10 days to decide, and then the Superior Court will really kind of dictate how that's handled, and if somebody's subpoenaed, if somebody's not subpoenaed.
So then basically on the outcome of the judge say, I'm looking at what my ballot in that county or face of criminal charges or what?
Well, I don't wanna get into any criminal charge stuff right now, but as far as your ballot, it's not gonna count based on the vote today. Now, if you were ultimately successful, then, you know, we count, yeah.
And would you like to leave a number with Ms. Page so she can call you when that,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
that,
2338 number, okay?
Mhm.
252-202-9020.
902.
You say 252?
202-9020.
And give me a copy of this, there was one thing this page was yours, that's your copy of the page on the housing. And you could get a whole list from the, pardon me?
And I should say copy all this, also the evidence, if you need
Right? Okay. We can let him have your copy, okay? Thank you.
Mr. Haskell, is there, and I think you probably don't want to answer this, I'm not going to ask you another question. Is there an address you want to give to the board right now? Because right now, you'll be struck from the voter roll. Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, you have all your information, Mr. Wood.
We haven't discussed this position of that.
I think, Madam Chair, we'll follow the same two. We will do, page 159 where the challenge is sustained, be marked sustained after the word challenge.
The ballot,
Correct, yes.
all right, sustained on the ballot, correct.
And since there was not going to be on the voter rolls, it would be my opinion that the ballot doesn't count.
Madam Chair,
Can you pull the word,
before we leave,
right, sustained?
voting is very important. Every citizen should have a right to vote. If he would give the board his address, part of his ballot would count. I would advise you to, if he gives an address and it's in the county, the part of his ballot will count.
It will count. Because
I'm not
there
trying
were,
to
there
take his vote away from him.
there were only, because there was only one thing that did not count on the man's ballot.
And I think he's been giving some bad advice. I would, myself, would recommend that he give you his address or his vote will count. Because every vote that every person casts is important in our lives. So, I'm not trying to take his right to vote away, I'm not trying to take his count away. So if he gives his vote, he needs to understand that you can.
What we're saying is, if you are actually living in this county, but not at the address that you gave, we can look up and see which ballot you should have had and count those offices on the ballot.
I understand that, but I was trying to make it 10 days. Maybe because once I try to make it 10 days, I can see it. So I verify it. I have to write everything to what y'all sent. I was waiting 10 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert, anything? I have a pen, just write it down. I'll put challenge and I'll put sustain. Just write sustain. Right here it is, right here. Sustain, challenge, sustain. Yes.
Can I take a couple of minutes, please?
Sure.
My blood pressure's up right now.
Let me take we'll do a 5-minute recess.
That young man just got some good advice from somebody.
Challenge, sustain.